Morning friends, how are you? Hope you're well and you're having a good start to your week. I'm here today to do some book reviews for you. I have three Netgalley books to be reviewed. One has been published, two have yet to be published. The two that have yet to be published are going to be published this month. The one that was previously published was just the end of last month, so I thought I'd just put the three together. But I hope you enjoy the reviews and that you'll go pick the books up. So let's get started. Book one, as you saw by the picture, is The Amish Quilters' Unexpected Baby by Jennifer Beckstrand. This was given to me by Kensington Books and it was published on the 23rd of February. So what's it about? We have our main character Esther, whose father has died and she has moved Amish communities. She was encouraged to do this by a friend of hers who is also into making quilts, etc. She's gradually getting to know her new community and the people within it. But unexpectedly, her sister Ivy arrives with her baby Winter. And Ivy is kind of one of these characters that flits in and out of this book. She is not very... what's the word I'm looking for? She's not very in control of her own life. And whereas Esther is. Ivy is obviously not living the Amish way, she's more living the Englisher way. So that presents a bit of a problem. Anyway, Ivy leaves Esther with the baby. And Esther has had no idea what to do with babies, has never had to deal with babies in her life, etc. And she is finding life very, very difficult. So she tries to hide it from her friends, but enter Levi. Levi's grandmother is the one that arranged for Esther to come to this community, and she knows that the house that Esther is living in, that there's work needing done to it, especially to the bathroom. So Levi is sent by his grandmother to basically redo the bathroom for Esther, and this is their story. It's their story of Esther learning that, to ask for help is not a bad thing, that being given help does not come with a price tag. So that is, the story is basically Esther learning those lessons, but also becoming more and more attached to Winter, or Winnie as they call her, and is also becoming attached to Levi and also the other members of the community, especially Levi's grandmother's quilting group, who are a really nice bunch of ladies, fun, quirky characters that you really do enjoy having. The twist in the tale is that Ivy comes back and she's not a nice character. I have to say, there are parts of this book when you're like, oh gosh, I really don't like you. And I don't think you're supposed to really like Ivy as a character, but I think you're also supposed to feel sorry for her in many ways, and you do feel sorry for her because the guy she's with is just a total ratbag. But she has to make decisions for herself. But she is also trying to control Esther in many ways at times. So you have that dynamic going on. It was a really well written book, and I would highly recommend it. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and hopefully it's the start of a series, and I hope to continue on with this series because I did enjoy it so much. The second book I want to talk to you about is Meet Me in Hawaii by Georgia Toffolo. This was given to me by Mills and Boon, and it is published on the 18th of March, so 3 days' time. This is the second in the Meet Me series. If you've read the first one, you will know that there are 4 main female protagonists in this series. We've already met Victoria, so her story's mostly dealt with. We now go on to meeting Mally. Now, Mally helps her godfather run a surf school in Hawaii. She seems to be fairly content. Possibly there are things going on underneath that, to begin with, we don't know about. As part of the surf school, they help various people, and in this instance, we're about to meet Todd, who runs a company, but as part of their outreach program, they help children who have mental, physical issues, even home life issues, just general, things that children maybe have to deal with that maybe they're not prepared or used to dealing with. As a fundraiser for this outreach program, Todd wins a set of surf lessons with Mally. That's absolutely fine. She's not got any problems with this. But as they begin to spend time with each other, she realises that there is more to life, and so does he, that there's more to life than work, that there are other things that you have in life in order for it to be balanced. But Mally is also suffering, I don't say suffering, but she's having to deal with the fact that her brother died, and that her parents ran a surf school in Cornwall, which is where she's originally from, but they stopped surfing the day their son died. She carried on basically behind their back, but she's now obviously out in Hawaii with her godfather. But she has to come to terms with all of this. And she's a really good surfer, and Todd encourages her to take her surfing to the next level, as it were. So this is a story about these two characters not only finding out more about themselves, but finding out, what it means to be in a couple. It's not something that they particularly want. It's something that, just organically happens. I like the fact that in this that Mally is also phoning her other three friends and sort of asking for their help, but not really. But they try and start an intervention and things like this. So there's a lot of lovely moments in this book, and it is really nice. You also see the development of the children that Todd has brought over from the UK, to see their growth and development as they learn surfing and learn to work together as a unit. It is a really nice book, and I would highly recommend it. But what I would say is I think you'd read Meet Me in London first, so that you get a background on the four friends story. It is referred to slightly in this book, but you get more of the backstory in the first book, so I think it might be advisable to read that one first before you read this one. But yes, definitely I would recommend it, and I hope you go and read it. The third book I want to talk to you about is An Unexpected Amish Proposal by Rachel J. Good. This was given to me by Kensington Books and is published on the 30th of March. In this book we meet Fern and Gideon. Fern runs her family baking stall at the local farmer's market. Gideon also runs his family barbecue chicken stall. They know each other. Gideon has been surreptitiously buying Fern's cinnamon buns every day for a number of years, but he does it via his sister, who comes to buy it for him because he just doesn't have the guts to do it himself. He likes Fern, but there are various things that are standing in his way. And as the book goes on, we learn more about these things that are standing in his way of saying to Rachel, look, I really like you, can we date? Rachel also likes Gideon and spends most of her lunch days, or lunch hour, she will go and get something to eat from Gideon's stall, even though she's brought her own packed lunch. That's a side story, and it becomes more prominent as the book goes on. At the beginning of the book, we learn that Fern, another gentleman called Nick who runs a candy stall, and two other stall holders, that their rent has been tripled by the person that runs the farmer's market. There is no way they can pay this money. Unbeknown to them, Gideon pays for a 2-month reprieve for all 4 stalls. Is this something he should have done? Maybe, maybe not, because he has also got a number of financial issues on his plate. What happens in the end is Gideon decides he's going to expand his own stall, to offer more things, but then also decides to bring Fern's baked goods onto his stall and Nick's candy goods onto his stall. So that is absolutely fine. They're happy with this. And a brand new sort of person is taking over all 4 stalls, and there's sort of kind of things happen there. Nick is also having to deal with the fact that he and his son Aidan don't get on. Aidan seems to be quite rebellious. Nick is very down on his son, doesn't give him a lot of credit, can be actually quite nasty to him, which I did not like. Also, the owner or the person that runs the farmer market is a really nasty guy. He is just not nice. But those again are sort of by stories, but still have a prominent part to play within this story. As Fern and Gideon spend time working together, because he ends up realising that he needs somebody to run the baked goods part of the stall, so she obviously is the best person to do it. But he's also, as I say, expanding his own stall, so his sister Caroline is helping him, but also then his sister-in-law Nettie comes in. Now, Nettie was his brother's wife, but his brother, as we learn, died, but left Gideon with an awful lot of problems. And he is trying to cope with that, plus saying that he would look after Nettie and her children, but she's taken this the wrong way. When she sees the sort of friendship and possible relationship happening between Gideon and Fern, she is not a happy bunny. And she is actually quite nasty. I really didn't care for her as a character, and I found it very strange that a book that is set within the Amish community, I'm not saying they're perfect, they're not, but I have never had a book that had such unlikable characters, if that makes sense, and I found that sad. But anyway, things happen and all is resolved, as the saying goes, but I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to sort of spoil it for you very much, because it is a nice read, and it's a book that will I read the rest of the series? I'd quite like to, yes. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the various other characters and whether issues are resolved, etc. That it was not like shall we say, a stop at one end. Since it's going to be a series, there are also very many issues that are going to have to be resolved throughout the rest of the series. But I like some of the side characters. There was one particular lady that I really liked. She was good, she was feisty, and I really liked her. So yeah, it was a nice book, and I would recommend it. Well, those are my book reviews. Hope you've enjoyed them, and I've actually made some sense in them. But please let me know down below if you plan to read any of them, or if you've read any of them. It'd be really nice to know what you thought about them. But that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye.